side. I'm like,
I know. Hi, everybody. Jamie here. Hope everybody's doing well. You guys, I have another special guest today. So this is another kind of off time, pop-up time. So while you guys join, I'm just going to say the normal things that I always say. Today is what? I don't even know. January 21st. It's Thursday, January 21st. I finally kind of have my days. It felt like Friday when I woke up. I don't know. It's Thursday, January 21st. I'm Jamie Trull. I am live currently right now in my Facebook group, Financial Literacy for Women Business Owners. Come on over and join us if you're not there. I'm on my business page and we're live on YouTube as well. So wherever you're joining us from, say hi, say hey, tell us where you are watching us from as you join. So I see some people joining, so that's great. So also tell me that you can hear me because I'm always worried that
I can hear you if that matters.
That matters. Yeah, we can just talk. It's fine if nobody else can hear us. So today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be talking about my financial fitness formula program, which you guys closes today. Today is the last day to get into the program. So I want to make sure that everybody knows today's the last day. So if you've been thinking about it, if you've been on the fence, I want you here and I want you guys to come ask me any questions that you have. And I'll take any questions toward the end. So yes, it's 12121, Christina. Yes, I do like that. The numbers person in me really, that makes me happy. So Financial Fitness Formula is my program to take complete control of your business finances. If you are a solopreneur, if you are a small business owner, and you want to get your head around kind of the strategic and cash management sides of your business. So what I mean by that is really being able to put your CFO hat on, like confidently act as your own CFO, know your profit margins, know what price you should be charging for your products or services, knowing what you have to spend, right? Like how much money you have to spend in order to still be able to pay yourself what you want to pay yourself and grow your business in the way that you want to grow your business. So those are all the things that we do. All these people right here have signed up for this round of FFF. And we are super, super excited to have them. So Crystal is here joining me. I don't know if anybody saw a couple of days ago, I had Ashley on. So Ashley was here. She was a Financial Fitness Formula founding member as well. So is Crystal. And I think, Crystal, you're like the original.
Yeah, I am the OG. I just want to make sure.
The number one of all time. I will always remember because the first time I sold a digital course, right? I put it out into the world. And, you know, anybody here, let me know if you're a digital course creator and feel this, but you just wait, really probably any business you're in, that first you're like, is anyone gonna buy it? Right? Like I poured my heart and soul. Is anyone gonna buy this thing? And then literally, I mean, it was less than 5 minutes that we had the cart open. Crystal buys the course. I was like, okay, people are gonna buy this. So I will always remember, it's kind of like the first dollar you earn, like I don't know how you do that with digital dollars, but if I could, I would.
Yeah,
I'll take a picture of your face framed on my wall.
Yeah, I can probably send you a picture of me.
Yeah, I will take one and I will put it on my wall.
Wall of Fame.
Yeah. So I wanted to get Crystal on here for anybody who's thinking about FFF to tell her story, because Crystal's story is one of my favorite stories. I just love it. And I love just chatting and hearing all about you, Crystal, and what you do. So first of all, I'm gonna pass it over to you, Crystal, and I'm gonna ask you to give us just a little bit of a background on yourself and your business.
Okay, well, my name's Crystal Waddell. I own a handmade business called Collage and Wood, where I make giant wooden letters, numbers, names, giant photo props, and mainly photo collages for athletes. So when I met Jamie, my photo collages and everything, they were selling pretty well. I had a good price point on those. I didn't know why I was making money with those, but I knew I was making money with those. But after a couple of years, I was watching my sales go up, my revenues go up, and I was watching my bank account stay the same. And every month I was paying other people to help me, and I couldn't even pay myself. It was like, what in the world? You know, so there's nothing more frustrating than working your butt off and then sending money out to other people and not even giving it to yourself. So when Jamie had mentioned she was, launching this course, I was like, absolutely, I need that. And I thought it was something different. I thought it was like how to set up your business finances, and I don't know why I thought I needed that then. Yeah. And I probably still need it, whatever. And I got that one too. So, But I remember emailing you or sending you a message and just saying, hey, is this going to be in the course? And you're kind of like, no, it's actually like this. And I'm like, well, I bought it anyway, so I'm excited. And it just changed my life, because day one, I think I found out why I wasn't profitable. And it was the most painful thing in the world. And I'm not kidding. I think I cried.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I was like crying and in shame, because I realized, and I don't know if I'm going too far ahead, but I realized in the first like 5 seconds of Jamie's course why I wasn't profitable. And I realized I could sell like hundreds of thousands of numbers at the price that I was selling them at, or I could sell 0 and I would make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love that part of your story, Crystal, because I think that it is the case for a lot of business owners where they feel like, I'm putting in so much effort and work, right? I'm doing all of these things and I'm selling. I'm making, people are buying the thing I have to sell, and I'm working so dang hard and I'm growing my top line, like I'm growing my revenue, but like, what is going on? Why can I still not take money out of my business to really like pay myself and use in my personal life? And you get to that point of like, is this worth it? Like, is all the work I'm putting in, would I be better off like going down and getting, a job down the street at like the market? Like, why am I putting all of this effort into it? And oftentimes it's something that we love. And so we hold on to it and we're like, no, but I love doing it and I want to do it. But absolutely. And I think that your story, is something a lot of people really do deal with. And I love your story too, that you're like, I didn't even know what I was really getting. I just wanted the thing that you were selling. Like, that's my favorite, that you were just like, well, you bought in 5 minutes, so you couldn't have read the entire sales page.
Well, I don't remember how I felt when you talked, but I was just like, this girl knows what I'm going through, and I was like, there was just something about what you talked about, just like understanding like what your profit margins were or whatever. And I thought, you know what, I need some help with that, because here's the thing. I wanted to run Facebook ads, but I had at least enough intelligence to know that even if my Facebook ads were successful, it was going to scale what I was doing.
Yes.
And what I was doing was not right. Something was wrong. So I was like, okay, maybe Jamie can help me fix this problem so that I could scale and not like kill myself, because I was like, something's not right.
And I think that that's the thing, like the scaling piece, right, is where we get to, right? Where you're like, okay, I want to scale this business, but if I scale this at this level, it's not really going to get me where I want to go. And so that's why I think a lot of times doing this work before we put all this effort into scaling a business, you want to scale a healthy business, right? When you scale a healthy business, that is the dream. That's the dream. When you scale a not financially fit business, it's just going to mean you're working even harder and still not seeing that like come to fruition. So I think we chase the top line. We're like, oh, I just need more revenue. I just need more customers. I just need more clients. When you chase clients and you don't have a healthy business set up from a profit margin perspective, from what you're spending money on, from how you're investing into your business, right? Then it's not going to be successful when you scale it. More revenue is not going to help you. It's just going to burn you out. Right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, girl. I know.
Yeah. So tell me how it was. So you went through, we have a module specifically on pricing. So what Crystal's talking about is I have a module where you work through your profit margins on your different products or services. And I have a spreadsheet where basically it tells you like you're priced well or you're not, right? And so I think that's probably where you saw, okay, here, I have an issue here, right? I have something that I need to fix.
Well, I'll say that you had me at spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets, So I was like, oh, there's a spreadsheet somewhere. But there was one part in particular that really grabbed my attention, because earlier in the year, probably a month or 8 weeks prior to hearing about your course, I had heard someone talk about raising your prices. So the sad thing is, I am still so ashamed, guys. Okay.
No shame. No shame zone.
Okay. I had already like raised my prices, so as much as I wasn't making money by the time I took your class and took your course, I had already raised my prices. So I'm like, how much money was I losing? At least I had raised my prices to the point I was breaking even. But you had an exercise where, you talked about like you could sell so many at this price and so many at a higher price and so many at an even higher price. And, even though you sold less, you would still make as much or more. And when I worked through that, that's when I had the epiphany that, oh my gosh, I could sell zero and make what I'm making right now. If I raise my prices to this, I can, so it gave me like this visual representation of the changes that I needed to make. And it was powerful. Like, I'm not kidding. I stayed up all night and changed my prices. And I had this was in my Etsy shop and my website. So I was up until probably 3:30 in the morning, changing every single listing, which was like 300 listings with Etsy and everything in my website. And I was like, dang it, if I don't sell another wooden number the rest of my life, hey, at least I have more time with my son,
Yeah.
So.
Yes. I love that so much. Yeah. So that is why I think sometimes we think, okay, but if I raise my prices, nobody's going to buy. Right. And that's the fear we have, like, oh, we're going to price ourselves out. And I do talk about, right, it's not all about just raising prices. It's about determining, are your prices correct to begin with? And then if not, what can you do? And there's various different things that you can do. And I walk through that with you in the program of like, here are your options if you're not at healthy profit margins, right? And also, how do I raise my prices in a way that is still going to be able to, sell, right? Because if you price yourself completely out and nobody buys, it's a problem. When you raise your prices, what happened, Crystal? Did people buy?
Well, this is what's so funny, because I think part of your advice is like, maybe you should, increase your prices over time. But I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not working for free anymore, So again, I was like, look, if I don't sell anything, so what? I doubled my prices overnight on basically everything. Like even my collage prices I went up, a certain percentage or whatever. And my sales went up, they went up on everything. And the other thing is, the first time I got a sale and I knew, like, am I going to cry right now? That'd be ridiculous. Okay. But the first time
I do it all the time. If I don't cry, if I go a month without crying on a Facebook Live, that's like a win.
Yeah. Well, I need to cry more. That's part of like my goals for 2021. But when that first sale came through at the margin that I knew I was actually making a profit, it was the first sale I'd had in 5 or 6 years of being in business where I knew for sure I had made a profit.
Yay!
And I was like,
you're breaking my streak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's powerful stuff. And I'll tell you, like, I'm really proud of myself that like, I truly wasn't in it for the money. You know what I mean? Like, I love my business. I love helping people. I love celebrating people and being in on their celebrations. But it was getting to the point of like, look, this is, really interfering with my ability to do other things in my life. And I need there to be an incentive, of profit in here. So when somebody said something about Etsy sellers. I think they're right. But I realized that, oh my gosh, like I don't have to worry about losing money anymore. Jamie gave me this formula. I plugged my numbers in, and I loved when people sent me stuff for custom work, because I was always like, oh, maybe I'll just charge, $5 or $10 extra or whatever. But I plugged it into the formula you had. And it also took away that like emotional thing that I had of like, I hope I don't offend them with my price, or whatever. Because, and I've had people who've asked me for custom work since then, that I put it in the calculator and I tell them what the price is. And they're kind of like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And I'm like, hey, I'm great with that because I don't want to volunteer. So I appreciate, that it's upfront, and it's just it's an objective way to look at it and know that I'm making money and I'm still being of great service to the people who need what I have. So
I love all of this so much. Like, I just love that. Just the idea of that's what I'm worth. Like, that's what my product is worth objectively, right? Like objectively, people are always like, charge what you're worth. What the heck does that mean? But it gives you an objective way to value what you're worth. And I think a lot of people who are doing the work themselves, right? Like this happens to handmade sellers all the time, where you're doing the work yourself, or any kind of service business really, where you're, involved. We often don't really value the time that we're putting in. And the problem is when you don't do that, if you grow enough, right? We go back to the scaling problem. If you grow enough and you get so many sales that you hire someone Well, now you're paying them more than you're paying you. And you're like, hang on, this doesn't make any dang sense. And now I'm not making anything.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's the worst. And it's so much easier when you have an objective way to say, no, this is the formula that I use in order to figure out what in the world I need to charge. And then, and like you said, if they say no, you're like, okay, then I don't have to put in work for something that's not going to make me any money. And to your point on, I think we all are at that place where it's not, is it all about profit? No, it's not all about profit. Is a for-profit business somewhat about profit? Yes, because if you don't make profit, you're giving your time and your energy, right? Like you're giving your time and that's taking away from, like you said, time to spend with your son. I get that 120%, right? If I'm going to be spending time doing something, I want there to be some kind of a return on it, that it makes sense for my family, for me to be spending the time on that thing. Yes. Do I love impacting people? 100%. Would I do it completely for free, giving away the amount of time that I do? No, I wouldn't, because I value my time. I can't. It's not sustainable. I wouldn't be married if that was the route that I took, right?
Well, so can I add one more thing about that? Okay, so when I raise my prices, particularly on these photo props, I make these giant 2021 photo props. I should have grabbed one and just brought it over here. But anyway, sometimes I have photographers who buy year after year. I've been selling them from since 2017. So this one photographer that bought the 2019 last year, she emailed me this year before she bought the 2020. She's like, I just wanted to check and make sure that I was reading this right, because like last year I paid 50 and this year's 100. And I was like, oh yeah, girl. I was like, I wasn't making any money. And I just told her the truth. I was like, I can't give these things away. You know, I'm shipping them across the world. So, and she was like, okay. You know, I mean, she knew. Like these people knew. They were like, when they got them, I mean, they're so awesome and big. Oh, you want to see one? I'll grab one. Hold on just a second. But so big. People are like, yeah, we totally knew that you were undercharging, but if you're going to give it away, we're going to take it, you know?
Exactly. Your best seller will be the one that you don't charge any money for, because everyone's like, how the heck? Okay, I'm going to get in on this deal, right? So that's what we tend to do. All right. I love those so much. You guys, I know we need more room. I love it. Those are great for photo props. I need to order myself one of those for some reason.
They're super fun. You know, they're super fun. So anyway, I just want to just encourage anybody out there who is struggling with, you know, growing their business and raising their prices to do it. You have to make that choice, you know, and that was the choice I made that day, Jamie. I mean, I'm in tears and I was like, this might be the day I lose my business. You know, this might be the day that it's over. And I realized I never had a business. I had a hobby that I loved, and, you know, people enjoyed working with me, but it wasn't a business. So
I think that that's the case for so many people, like the hobby thing, right? Because the point, right? If you're a business, I'm going to talk specifically from IRS perspective, because I'm a nerdy accountant, but a business where you claim your expenses and you do all this is for profit, right? If you consistently are not making profit, number one, the IRS eventually can come and reclassify you as a hobby, which sucks, you guys. I'm just going to tell you, when the IRS tells you you're a hobby, i.e. you have not made a profit in 3 out of the last 5 years, and therefore you're not a for-profit business, now you can't deduct any of your expenses either against your income. So that is not a fun thing to run into. But I think so many people get in that, and it's fine if you have a hobby and you don't care if you make money, okay, but be real about that, because I think most people, if you're doing it, you probably want to be making some money to have some kind of compensation for the time and effort that you're putting into it, right? It doesn't have to be impact or profit. Right. The best and most sustainable businesses have both. You're going to make a better impact too.
The other reason people need to learn from you is because I have someone I love very much, and I'm not going to say the person's name because I love and appreciate the advice that they've given me for business. But one thing that they had said early on that just kind of stuck in my head was break even. So I was always thinking about break even and not profit. And then the other piece of advice that I got that was in direct opposition to what you said, and I now buy into what you said for sure, was that, you know, you might as well spend the money because you're going to get taxed on it at the end of the year. So you never want to make a profit. Yeah. But that's what I've always heard from like the entrepreneurs that I knew, you know, that I talked to at that level. And the sad thing is, and I want to just give a heads up to anybody, if you take that approach and one day you go to retire, your Medicaid or whatever is based on your income. So while you may have been breaking even for all those years and not showing a profit, so you didn't have to pay taxes, well, guess what? Your monthly check from the government, 65, 70 years old and beyond, is based on what you reported.
Yeah.
So you didn't save that money.
Yeah, that's Social Security. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's something that hits people later in time when they take that approach. Also, if you go to buy a house, right? And you're like, well, I've got $200,000 in revenue. But if you showed a $5,000 profit, they're going off that. That's your income, right? And I think a lot of people realize that in the COVID world too, where they're trying to get these loans, like the PPP loans, for example, which were based off of profit. And they're like, wait, but I made a bunch of money. And they're like, no, you didn't. You got taxed on that $5,000. That's your payroll. That's how much you can really take out of your business and pay yourself. So a lot of people, and I know a lot of solopreneurs that follow this, where they're just like, I'd rather spend the money so I don't have to pay the taxes. That's not the route. It's all about maximizing your profit and saving for your taxes. And that's what I'll teach you how to do in the program. So we're talking all about the pricing piece. And that's literally one module. Oh yeah. One module that we're talking about here that's part of FFF. The whole thing we go through mindset around money, because Lord knows we need to go through mindset, right? Huge. To get rid of that shame, right? We need to work through the mindset stuff. We need to set those goals, but we also go through pricing and profit margins. Yes, but we go through costs, right? Like, how do we look into our costs? How do we know what we should spend? What should we be spending money on versus not, right? There are some times that it is good to invest in your business. How do you know when you should do that versus not? Creating a profit plan. And I've changed some things around this time. So I'm really excited to have Crystal go through it again, because we have a different type of profit plan that you can create, where you actually apportion out parts of your profit to the different pieces of things that the different things that you want to accomplish, right? So
like profit first.
It's got some similarities to profit. You could actually use it with profit first, but it's a little bit different. So it is a little bit different in how we roll it out, but you can use it along with profit first, i.e. opening up different bank accounts and things like that. You don't have to do that. I give you other options as well, because I know the different bank accounts is a lot, but we want to make sure you're prepared, right? Like you've got taxes, you are putting money towards, you want to put money towards retirement or debt payoff, or reinvesting back in your business. How much do you want to reinvest back in your business? How much do you want to pay yourself, right? So we work through that and make it a really personalized plan for you. And then we do a forecast, and that's new this year too, Crystal. We didn't have the forecast. I added it. So then once you kind of get all of that in place, you have your profitability figured out, then you can forecast out and be like, oh my gosh, this is where I can be in 3 to 5 years, right? It gives you that roadmap of, okay, I want to make $1 million. How the heck do I get there? Because that's a lot of times, I mean, I'm making up, it might be any number that you have in your head, but whatever that is, it can give you the path to getting to the place that you want to go. So I'm really, really, really excited.
Can I tell you why I love that so much?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing that I realized the first time I went through it was like, I was nowhere near the point I needed to be to do this full time. So it made me just like you said, I had the mindset shift and just reimagine, okay, what do I need to do? What do I have to, kind of go back and take a look at before I can make this leap for myself or whatever. So hearing you say that is just so perfect, because I feel like, I don't even know if it's been a year yet, but I'm already in such a better place that I feel like having that tool is just going to be so critical to making the transition, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So Crystal's going to be going back through it with us, right? You're going to come back. You're come through it with us. But there is so much in financial fitness formula, you guys. So if you're on the fence, definitely ask me.
No, I'm just kidding.
What? Yeah. Crystal says do it. Just jump. It's going to be great. It's an investment, right? It's an investment. And what an investment means is it's going to turn into more money later, right? If you put the work into it, and I do streamline it. So would you say I get a lot of people asking, is it going to be overwhelming? Is it going to take hours and hours and hours to do the program? What would you say to that, Crystal?
I don't think it took hours and hours. I don't remember the level of time it took. I just know the impact it's had on my life.
I love that.
So
that's it. Yes. So it's worth it, is what you say. It's worth it.
if you want to be honest and take an honest look, I mean, most of us are not going to be able to have somebody give us this type of insight into our business, because a lot of times we don't know what like analytics or whatever to look for to measure what's going well or what's not, so that's why what you've taught me is so valuable. And I mean, my gosh, everything that you've taught us just this year in your group, like I have been amazed. I've heard people talk about like, give value, give value, give value. But I mean, I passed on the knowledge that you gave us in the group about, applying for different things or whatever. And I help family members, get help from PPP or the EIDL or whatever, like money that they actually don't have to pay back now for whatever reason. And so like you have just been such a blessing to so many of us, like to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm glad that I already did it because I'm that much further ahead, like but you're a blessing, Jamie. And you really did. You changed my life. You changed my business and you kind of restored hope. I was at a point where I didn't, again, I didn't know whether I had just wasted 4 or 5 years of my life. And you gave me hope that I could continue my dream. Yeah. So thank you.
You're doing it to me again, Crystal. You didn't give me the tissues warning before we jumped on here. That is so kind of you to say. That is my goal in all of this is whatever I am doing, whether it be helping people navigate the challenges of COVID, whether it be helping them really just take control of their business finances and just master them and have a plan for themselves so that they can really like keep and have a sustainable business that they love, right?
Yeah.
All of that. Like I am just, I want to give everything into everything that I do. Like I want to help people just get to that place. And so thank you.
Yeah.
Very
and you can feel it, you can feel it. And I think we all have our favorite brands or whatever. And one of the reasons why we love them so much is because we feel cared for, and you do that well. So
you were really too sweet this morning. So that was Crystal's story. I am going to have to go like have a whole cry here in a minute in the bathroom. But I just love hearing stories like yours, Crystal, where, and like and this was all pre-COVID, right? You went into COVID and we didn't know that was coming. We had no idea what was coming down the line. And so I'm glad that you were in that program last year. And I think now we know that something is coming. We don't know what it will be or when it will be. We know that things happen. And so the more we can be prepared in our business for those things to happen. Can you ever be 100% prepared for something like a huge pandemic? Probably not. But can you be a heck of a lot more prepared maybe than in the past? Yes. And that's what I want to help you do,
Girl, I got to share this with you though, because I mean, the difference with COVID hitting and anything else that could come up is, yes, she is very amazing, Stacey, is that I'm not crippling myself. It's one thing for COVID to come in and cripple your business, unforeseen or whatever. It's another thing for me to set my prices so low that I can't even make money, or for me to feel guilty about raising my prices so I'm not volunteering. So that was a huge thing. Like, and I don't know if we said this already, but I made more money last year. I made more profit last year than I did in previous years. And that was with COVID. People still needed what they needed. They wanted what they wanted. They had some extra funds, sometimes due to the stimulus or whatever. Some people weren't as impacted as others, but thankfully, my business still grew, but I didn't stop myself. And that was because you showed me how to, run a business.
That I love that sentiment, right? Like COVID, you could have something can come in and that you like outside forces that can come into your business and wreak havoc. We all know that, but it's a matter of what can you do on the inside, like you said, to make sure that you aren't also contributing. You are not, wreaking havoc on your own business, just, by way of decisions that you're making. So, I just love you. I love you in general, right? Like you're my OG forever, Crystal. I mean, the wall. Like you need to make a collage. This is what I want. I want you to make me a collage of your face. I'm going to buy it at the right price, right? I want an FFF, and it's just all crystal faces.
Oh, that's fun.
That's what I want.
That'll be unique, one of a kind.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So thank you for coming and sharing your story. Everybody who's wondering about FFF, I did include the link, jamietrull.com/buy. You can go check out all the information, all the other things that are in it, in addition to getting into profit margins and things that we've talked about here. Ask me any questions, you guys, that you have. I am around. You can email me. Let me know what you want to know about the program. Like I said, doors close tonight, and they're not going to be opening again anytime soon. So people keep asking me when. I really don't know when we're opening it. It's been a year, right? So Crystal was part of my program a year ago. It's been a year. So I don't know when we're going to open the doors again, because we're all going to be walking through this together. This is a program that we go through over a 12-week period now. We have a private Facebook group and everything, a community of people that are going to walk through this together. And I'm going to be there twice a week to do Q&As and things like that. I know Crystal was on so many of those Q&As, just like absorbing all the things. I remember her being there. So there's lots and lots of things that you'll be able to get out of it. We also are doing community pods this time, which I think will be really fun. So we're putting trying to get similar businesses together as we can to create community pods that can get together and walk through and work through some of these challenges together. So you can have other handmade sellers in a group together walking through how it applies to them and how they are making changes in their own business. So anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us. Crystal, thank you for joining us. Thank you for making me cry like a couple of times.
Thank
awesome.
you, Jamie.
You guys, I love you so much. And you guys go check out the program, jamietrull.com/buy. And I hope to see you over there. So have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Bye, guys.